Everyone claims they're locking in these days. But if you scroll through productivity content for hours planning your focus session, are you actually focused? Or are you just scrolling faster? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Lock-in culture has become another dopamine loop we're trapped in. We perform focus instead of building it. We chase the feeling of productivity rather than developing genuine attention. The real paradox? The harder we try to lock in using modern methods, the more scattered we become. Today, we'll explore why willpower is fundamentally a lie, and I'll show you a counterintuitive approach that actually works. Let's start with what locking in has become. Open any productivity playlist. Notice the thumbnails, intense faces, glowing screens, dramatic lighting. This isn't focus training. This is focus theater. We've turned concentration into content. Study with me streams, focus playlists, productivity vlogs. The irony runs deeper than you might think. While we consume content about focus, we're training our nervous systems to expect stimulation even during concentration. But here's what most people miss. The attention economy isn't just a business model. It's an emergent AI system that's actively training human nervous systems. Every notification, every variable reward, every algorithmic feed is essentially a proto-agent competing for your focus. Think about it. These algorithms learn from billions of human interactions. They discover which patterns of stimulation capture attention most effectively. They're not conscious, but they function as distributed intelligence systems optimizing for engagement. And engagement means keeping you in a state of anticipation, not deep focus. The dopamine trap works like this. Variable reward schedules create the strongest addiction patterns. You never know when the next productivity tip, the next motivational quote, the next breakthrough insight will arrive. So your nervous system stays activated, scanning for the next hit of inspiration. This is why motivation spikes actually collapse long-term behavior patterns. When you get excited about a new productivity system, your dopamine surges. But dopamine isn't about pleasure, it's about wanting. It creates a state of restless seeking that's the opposite of sustained attention. Modern focus culture has become hypnotic in the literal sense. We're mesmerized by the performance of productivity. We mistake the stimulation of learning about focus for the actual development of focus. It's like watching workout videos and expecting to get stronger. Meanwhile, genuine attention training looks completely different. It's boring. It involves long periods of stillness. It requires you to sit with discomfort, without reaching for stimulation. There's no playlist for this. There's no content to consume. We're living in a new kind of matrix, but it's not built from code. It's built from our own productivity obsessions. Every time we seek external tools to generate internal states, we reinforce our dependence on stimulation. Every focus app, every productivity hack, every motivational video trains us to look outside ourselves for what can only be developed from within. The algorithms have learned something crucial about human psychology. They've discovered that the anticipation of focus feels more rewarding than focus itself. So they keep us in perpetual preparation mode, always getting ready to lock in, never actually locked in. This creates what I call the performance paradox. The more we perform focus, the less focused we become. The more we optimize our external environment for productivity, the less capable we become of generating sustained attention independently. The most insidious part? This system makes us feel productive while making us less capable of actual production. We mistake the consumption of productivity content for productive activity. We confuse the stimulation of learning new systems with the discipline of applying old ones. Real focus isn't about finding the right playlist or the perfect environment. It's about developing the capacity to direct attention deliberately, regardless of external conditions. But that capacity can't be downloaded, purchased, or streamed. It has to be built through practice that feels nothing like the focus content we consume. So how do we escape this trap? The answer is counterintuitive. Instead of trying harder, we need to start smaller, ridiculously smaller. The Nano strategy operates on a simple principle. Consistency without dopamine beats motivation every time. When you remove the reward expectation from an action, you begin rebuilding your nervous system's sensitivity to genuine accomplishment rather than artificial stimulation. Here's the science behind starting microscopic. Your brain has resistance mechanisms designed to prevent energy expenditure on uncertain outcomes. When you announce you're going to meditate for an hour, write a novel, or transform your life, these mechanisms activate. They generate the familiar feelings of overwhelm, procrastination, and self-sabotage. But when an action is so small, it seems absurd to resist. These mechanisms stay dormant. Your brain doesn't waste energy fighting something that requires almost no energy to complete. This is where boring repetition becomes your ally. While motivation creates emotional highs that inevitably crash, microscopic consistency creates what I call nano-stability. Each tiny completion builds evidence that you can direct your behavior deliberately, without external stimulation or emotional manipulation. Let me give you specific examples. Instead of planning a 2-hour focus session, bend your finger once, then twice, then 3 times. Notice the difference between voluntary movement and involuntary impulse. This is attention training at the cellular level. Or try this. Take 1 conscious breath, not a meditation session, not a breathing technique. Just 1 breath where you notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. Do this once. Then, if you feel like it, do it again. But only if it feels natural, not because you should. Here's another. Write 1 word in a notebook, not a journal entry, not morning pages. 1 word. Maybe hello, maybe Tuesday, maybe confused. The content doesn't matter. What matters is the deliberate action of putting pen to paper without any agenda beyond the action itself. You could stand up and sit back down once. You could look out a window for 5 seconds. You could close your eyes for exactly 30 seconds. These actions seem trivial, but they're training something crucial. Your ability to act without needing a reason, reward, or emotional state to justify the action. The key insight here is that we're not trying to accomplish anything meaningful through these actions. We're training the capacity for deliberate action itself. We're rebuilding the neural pathways that connect intention to behavior without requiring motivation as fuel. This approach works because it operates below the threshold where your productivity addiction can hijack the process. There's no content to consume about bending your finger. No optimization possible. No community to join. No progress to track. Just the simple reality of voluntary action. After weeks of this practice, something interesting happens. You develop what I call action independence. You can initiate behavior without needing to feel inspired, motivated, or energized. You can sit still without entertainment. You can work without stimulation. You can focus without external tools. This is the opposite of everything the attention economy teaches us. Instead of seeking peak states, we cultivate baseline stability. Instead of optimizing our environment, we develop environmental independence. Instead of consuming content about focus, we practice the fundamental skill that makes focus possible. Deliberate, unstimulated action. The Nano strategy isn't about building habits. It's about rebuilding your relationship with voluntary behavior. It's about proving to your nervous system that you can act without algorithmic permission, emotional justification, or external validation. Real lock-in isn't about grinding harder or finding better tools. It's about slowing down enough to act deliberately. It's about training your capacity to stay still in a world designed to keep you moving. Stop chasing the feeling of focus. Start training your ability to stay still. If you're interested in exploring attention and consciousness beyond productivity culture, subscribe for more perspectives that question what we take for granted.